like glowing. If you're getting them, I'm getting them. Hi, hello, and welcome to the Bookish Life.
I'm Jess.
And I'm Tori. And in today's episode, we're going to be talking about basically indie authors getting picked up by publishers, why they do it, kind of what that means for the reader, for the author, just like the things that we know about it, and whether we think it's like a good idea for those authors to kind of like do that, like our opinions on it, what we think, all that. I don't know. Someone put this in our Instagram question box when we asked on our stories. We were like, hey, what topics do you want to see? Because we're back together. We're back together.
In Tori's library.
With Christmas decorations.
All decorated that we did last night.
It's very pink. Are we surprised? No.
Which we fought about last episode.
Yeah, last episode. But yeah, we just wanted to do some different topics. And so one of you guys dropped this in the comments. So yeah.
And this is like a relatively, not like brand new, because like Colleen Hoover started indie. Mm-hmm. She got picked up pretty early on by Atria. And she's been writing trad, and trad means traditionally published, for a while. It has been a relatively new thing for indie books to be picked up, especially the way that Bloom is doing it, which we'll get into, between like paperback and ebook.
Yeah.
As you're distracted.
Yeah, I didn't know you tagged me in a story.
I did.
I just saw that.
Oh.
Putting all this stuff together, setting all this stuff up.
You were, yeah.
Okay, comfy. Okay, now I'm comfy. Oh, yeah. Miko's barking. Are you surprised?
He didn't bark all day. He slept all day.
Yeah. But now he's awake. Now he's like, it's my time to shine. Mm-hmm. I got to see what's going on outside. Anyway, back to traditionally published. I feel like Atria, though, was one of the first publishers to start doing that.
So they really did it back in like 2014, 2015. Because Slammed by Colleen Hoover was indie first. And that, I think, was her first trad book. I don't remember if they picked that one up. So, like, that indie book goes for, like, a lot of money. Same for On Dublin Street by Samantha Young, Abby Glines, and, like, all those new adult romance authors that were, like, huge during that time.
I didn't realize Samantha Young's was picked up because I have the mass market of that. I just always thought it was traditionally published.
No, I think it was originally, because I remember the cover, it was originally indie, and I think pretty quickly got picked up to trad with Atria. So, they've been doing this for a very long time. Tilly Cole with Raise, her like fighter romance, that indie goes for like a lot of money.
Interesting.
So, yeah.
I didn't know that. Mostly because I never paid attention to traditionally published books.
Because I've been blogging since 2011, so like I've seen, I was around when all that was happening.
I feel like Atria doesn't really pick up a lot of books now.
No, Atria barely even publishes romance anymore.
Oh, they do other genres.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Like K.A. Tucker Simple Wild, that was Atria.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Not that was indie, but that was kind of like the end of their, and like Colleen Hoover, but yeah,
that's interesting. I feel like now though, like Bloom is the one that's leading the way.
And Bloom, I feel like, didn't they create Bloom for that?
I don't know. What is their partner?
Romance? It's Sourcebooks.
I thought Bloom was first and Sourcebooks was like a branch of
Bloom has only been around for like a year or two.
I did not even know that.
Yes, it's always been Sourcebooks. So Sourcebooks has always been around, and then they made Bloom, and Bloom pretty quickly started to pick up really popular indie authors, which you look at Bloom now, and their authors.
Yeah.
It is like Lauren Asher, Elsie Silver,
Sophie Lark,
Anna Huang, like they are absolutely killing the charts.
I'm trying to think of who else got picked up.
And
Emily McIntyre. Sierra Simone. Yeah.
So they like powerhouse indie names. Scarlett St. Clair.
Elle Kennedy.
Yes. So like all these authors were already really killing it as an indie author.
Yeah.
And so a lot of people ask, well, why are these indie authors now doing trad? So a big question by people, because Bloom is different though. So like a lot of times if an author gets picked up by trad, that means ebook and paperback. So most of these authors are usually KU authors, which is Kindle Unlimited. And that's how a lot of people do their reading, because it's $10, $12 a month and I get unlimited access to the KU catalog. I'm not buying every time I read $5 for an ebook or more with trad publishers. So people are mad that authors are being picked up so their books are less accessible on KU. But that means they're more accessible widely. So like their books are in many more bookstores or in many more libraries. and many other, if they get like international deals, other countries. But Bloom is allowing a lot of their authors to keep their ebook rights. So their books stay in KU and the author has control of their ebooks, but they get to publish the paperbacks.
Yeah, because I feel like Forever Publishing is a big publisher that does a lot of like romance. They're the next one. When I think of Bloom, I think of Forever. And a lot of their stuff, I don't think any of their stuff is in KU at all.
I don't think so. But they also have been picking up people, not as fast as Bloom has.
Yeah.
But like Mia Sheridan was originally indie, and now she publishes primarily with Forever.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay. I guess it's just interesting because like, I mean, I feel like a lot of the authors that got picked up by Bloom specifically, like right at the beginning, like Sophie Lark, all of her books got picked up. Like with the Brutal Prince series. What is it? Brutal Birthright series. Mm-hmm. After that, her duet got picked up. I don't think the Kingmakers have gotten picked up by anyone.
No,
that's still indie.
Well, and so we were having a discussion earlier about like what authors we think would be picked up. And Bloom definitely picks up the lighter contemporaries.
Yes.
Though Brutal Birthright's still darker. So that's interesting.
But it's not as dark as like some of their mafia.
True.
Like I think of Sophie Lark's Brutal Birthright series as like light dark
mafia.
Yeah, like light dark mafia romance.
Yeah.
So, but I feel like even Forever, they don't pick up super dark romances.
No.
I can't think of any other dark romance that's gotten picked up besides.
Has Rena Kent gotten picked up or no? Okay.
No.
I don't know why. So it's because it looks like a lot of like you look at Lauren Asher, Anna, Elsie, who are like the big names for Bloom, and they're all writing like emotional romances, but they're all
contemporary.
Not dark. Yeah, they're all contemporary.
I mean, even Scarlett St. Clair with her
fantasy.
Yeah, the fantasy series. That's not super dark.
No, it's not.
I would say probably Sophie Lark's. Yeah, but hers I feel like aren't dark. They're just a more like kinky, smutty,
true
type books.
Yeah.
But like Sophie Lark's the There Are No Saints, that duet, whatever it is.
That's dark.
That's very dark. I didn't even continue to the second book because I was like, I hate this.
Oh, I loved it.
No, I didn't. I did not like that.
Yeah.
So it's interesting the way that Bloom chooses who's being picked up and the reasons why.
You know who took forever to get picked up?
Who?
Katerina Mora.
Oh, her books hasn't started coming out yet, but she did announce that they're picked up.
Like 2 weeks ago.
Yeah.
And she has been doing so well on the charts. So it's just interesting to see who does and why. I mean, like, I have no idea why who gets picked up when. No idea. Stuff goes on behind the scenes because we've seen some deals also fall through for some authors.
Yeah. Like Jessa Hastings.
Yes.
She was supposed to be with Bloom. Who is she with now in the US? Is it Bloom still?
I forgot Chloe Walsh is with Bloom now.
Yes. So I get really excited when like some of my favorite authors obviously get picked up. So when Chloe Walsh got picked up, I was super excited because I feel like not that she deserves it more than others. I'm just like a ride or die for her. I just find it interesting though that like Jessa Hastings was a brand new author and she got picked up relatively quickly. Chloe Walsh has been publishing for years and years and years. Like her backlist is actually huge. But this Boys of Toman series,
they're going to pick up whatever sells.
Yeah, for sure. But it's like in our minds, of course those things sell, but we think there's other series and other books and other authors that should be picked up as well. So I'm like, what goes on behind the scenes? Like BK Borson with Berkeley. I was surprised that Berkeley picked up.
Berkeley's been picking up a lot though. They got the Addicted series.
Yeah, they got Love Light.
Becca Ritchie.
Love Light.
Yeah.
Liz Tomford.
Yeah.
I was surprised because I actually thought Bloom picked up Liz Tomford, but it was Berkeley who picked up Liz. Who else?
Who picked up Tara DeWitt? But Avon picked up Tessa Paley.
Yeah. Which was surprising too. Who picked up Sarah Kate Bloom?
Yes.
Yeah, those are Bloom.
But who picked up Megan Quinn?
Bloom. Yeah. Because they had that event in Nashville where all the Bloom authors went, and that was Megan Quinn's like first.
So Magnolia says Dutton.
I don't know what Dutton is. I don't have the paperbacks of the new ones.
Says Dutton. But also what's very interesting, so like BK Borson, Tara DeWitt, and Lila Sage.
Oh, I forgot about her.
Got picked up very quickly. They don't have a big backlist. BK Borson has 3 books.
She's coming out with
Tara
the 4th
DeWitt
one.
has 1.
Yeah.
Lila has 1. And once they got picked up, they had to wait like over a year to publish their next book. So it like really put a stop to their publishing. And I don't know if, and I think all of them don't have their ebook rights. But you look at like everybody else, Elsie, Anna, like they get to publish whenever they want to.
Kind of.
A lot earlier. Because like Lila had her first book and she's waiting over a year to publish her second one.
Yeah, and I didn't realize how big. So, like, I think the way that Bloom is doing it is like, okay, we're going to pick you up, but we don't want the momentum to be lost now that you're picked up.
Yes.
So it's like, okay, we're going to redo the covers if they want to redo them. I don't think her discreet one stayed with Bloom.
Yes. So if the author already has discreet covers, they're going to choose those. Like, that's what happened with Sophie. She was already putting out her own discreet covers.
Well,
and Bloom kept those.
No, Elsie has new discreet ones, right?
Those, though, were her international ones already. So I think they like decided between the two which one they liked better. Yeah, in my assumption.
Lauren Asher had her discreet, and then she had the people covers.
Neither of us work in publishing, so this is literally all speculation. Yeah, I just want to clarify that like we could be completely wrong, but that's
this is just like how we think it goes. But it's like, for me, that would be the only way that would make sense if they're like, okay, we're gonna get these first 3 books out, like Elsie's books.
Yeah.
Flawless, Heartless, and what was the third one? Powerless?
Yeah.
Yeah, those are coming out relatively quickly.
Yeah.
And then her other books are being spread out, right?
Well, I think they're like a month apart. I mean, because that's the same with Chloe Walsh. That's the same with Jessa Hastings.
Well, you know what? It's different if the books are already out.
Yes.
For like Anna's books.
Yes.
The Kings of Sin series got picked up.
Yeah.
So like King of Wrath, King of Pride, and King of Greed all came out this year. No, Wrath came out last year.
Yeah.
But they're relatively quickly. Like within a year and a half, she's had 3 books.
Yes.
But her publishing schedule is getting pushed back. Like her next one's not coming out till late next year, right?
April.
Oh, okay. For some reason, I thought it was later. It's interesting the way that now, like, indie authors that get picked up aren't coming out with a book every 3 months. Mm-hmm. Like Lauren Asher's Love Redesigned that just came out. I don't know when her next book's coming out.
True. I mean, so I feel like these, like, I don't know what you would call them, but they are not like normally an author who is traditionally published 1 book a year. That is like the max.
Yes.
Indie is like every 3 months, right? So that's 3 to 4 books a year.
Yeah.
And I feel like these authors that are kind of straddling the line between indie and trad are like 2 books a year, 2-3 books a year.
Yeah. No, that's interesting. That's true. Like BK Borson, Mixed Signals came out last year.
Yeah.
And she's not having another book.
She didn't have a release this entire year.
Yeah, they're pushing it back because she was re-releasing this year.
Yeah.
The Love Light and the Weeds, because I have the Berkeley edition of Mixed Signals. Yeah. But I have the indie version of the first 2.
Which is also, it's very annoying as a book collector.
Yeah.
Because like even for the Boys Atonement series, I had to make sure to buy all 4 of them, even though I want to read the other ones. But the other ones, like the new ones, are not coming out in the indie covers. So while I have the 4 indie original, there's 2 more in the series that are 3? How many are going to be in the series?
She hasn't exactly said.
Okay. So there's at least, though, I forget how many are in the photo. Are there only 5?
There's 5 that's definitely to be. Taming 7 is the next one coming out next year.
And that's going to be floppy, traditionally published.
Not the original covers. Like it's only going to be the
which is the same with BK Borson's. That's the 4th book. They're all like based on seasons in her Love Life Farm series.
Yep.
And so it's going to be trad.
Yeah. But sometimes if an author gets picked up for only 1 series, that doesn't necessarily mean every book that they write is going to be published traditionally.
Or they might sell. So like with Catherine, she got picked up for the Tattered and Torn series plus 1 standalone that's going to be released with them.
Yep.
And that's it. While other people, like I don't know if Lauren Asher now is just always going to be Bloom.
I think she is. Like I think like Megan Quinn, no. I don't think I could be totally wrong, actually.
And I don't know, like, what they're putting in their contracts about publishing timelines, like, what they're allowed to do, but...
Yeah, because when, like, Bloom announces a deal, it's like, we want to welcome blah, 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 Megan Quinn to the Bloom team now, but they don't actually specify which books of theirs are going to be picked up.
Yes, because also, there are some authors who write for Berkeley, like Samantha Young. She writes for Berkeley and Helena Hunting. She writes for Berkeley, but they both also indie publish certain series as well.
Like Samantha, what is it? A Cosmic Kind of Love by Samantha Young? That's with Berkeley Romance.
The Love Plot just came out in August.
Yeah, and that's traditionally published.
And she has her...
Little Lie. No, that's not.
No, that's Helena. Yeah. She has her Highland series.
Yes.
Yes.
The second book is coming out
in
soon.
December, yes.
See, it's interesting the way that they like... I mean, I know you can't, it's very hard to get picked up as a complete author by every single book you write is going to be under a publisher.
But I don't know if they would want to do that. So I don't know how it works with a bunch of different publishers, but I've seen a lot where I feel like publishing is really pushing a certain kind of romance, like rom-com-y.
Yeah.
And so you look at Helena's stuff, and I don't read her Berkeley stuff. I mean, I think it's a lot more rom-com.
What book is traditionally published by Helena?
She had that cat one come out. She has a ton of, they're all illustrated covers. It's called like the Love Catastrophe or something. It's got a cat on the cover.
I literally haven't even heard of this.
Yeah. Yeah. So like, but I feel like her audiences are very different where like I love her indie stuff.
Yeah.
Because it's a lot like angstier and like what I like to read. That's why I read more indie over trad because I feel like it's a lot more emotional and like I'm not, though, the like casual romance reader that loves to pick up that kind of stuff, which I think is interesting with Bloom. Then I don't know like how they're directing their authors, but they're just like picking up what they're writing. And I don't see a lot of authors changing what they're writing for Bloom. But then I look at others and I'm like, I can kind of see like a big difference between what you put trad and what you put indie. And I loved The Love Plot by Samantha Young, but I was nervous because I was like, is it going to be a rom-com?
Yeah.
And it wasn't, but the cover looked rom-com. Yeah. And I think it was still marketed as a rom-com even though it wasn't. And so I, for some authors, would rather read the stuff that they're indie publishing than trad publishing.
Yeah.
But I don't think we've even touched on this. So because authors are being picked up, especially if just their paperbacks are now showing up in airports.
Yeah.
They're in Barnes & Noble, Target, Walmart.
Like when Anna's book came out, King of Greed, it was in the airport.
Yeah. And Elsie's being seen everywhere. And it's amazing for them because some people aren't online a lot. They just walk into a bookstore and buy a book.
They're like, oh, I'm going on vacation. Let me stop by the airport bookstore and see what's there. And you see like a discreet cover of King of Greed or Love Redesigned.
All of Tessa Bailey's books are always in the airport.
But you see them and you're like, oh, it's a cute cover. Let me pick it up.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Rather than like people who are online and follow influencers, like book influencers. It's like, okay, those are I find it super interesting the reasoning behind that. I know when you get picked up, your physical books get into more places, right?
Yes.
But the ones who choose to not keep their ebook rights,
I don't know if they choose to
or if it's in their contract.
The offer. Yeah.
It's just interesting. The ones who do, I'm like, do they still make a lot of money in KU? Because I know a lot of indie authors usually will only go into KU because it's easier. You get a little bit more exposure because people have the subscription. Like if you scroll on TikTok, it's like, blah, 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 books in Kindle Unlimited. These books in Kindle Unlimited you need to read. Like a lot of people do that. Very rarely ebook readers will just buy books.
I don't know if authors do, like who does better if you sell your book for $4 or you're in KU. I honestly don't know.
Yeah. Because we've seen like Catherine went from wide to being in KU.
Yeah.
And it's so like interesting. And most of authors do have their own agents that will do like help them with that kind of stuff, or
publishing deal.
Yeah. Like trying to get a publishing deal, negotiating, talking to people. Like they do definitely. It's not them. Like some people, for the longest time, I literally thought it was just the author negotiating on their behalf. No. They actually have an agent. Yeah. And sometimes you'll see it when it gets like Publisher Weekly. It'll say like, on behalf of blah, blah, blah at the blah, blah, blah agency. Yeah. Like you'll see who their agent is. They are. And it's interesting because I never really I don't know. I guess I didn't know that. But like, I find it sometimes it's like a catch-22 with some people who get picked up traditionally. Because like, I'm going to be 100% honest. I feel like Sophie Lark has dropped off after she got picked up and after her Brutal Birthright and that duet got released. Like, I still see it all over Barnes & Noble. Like, I know she's still making money. Like, good for her.
Yeah.
But I just feel like her releases have slowed down where she's indie publishing them. You know what I mean?
Oh, she is.
Like Anastasia came out last year.
Yeah. And Grimstone
just came out this year.
So, but she's also, I don't know if she's experimenting, but she's definitely not doing like, she had a very consistent, this is a Brutal Birthright series. You know exactly what you're getting.
Yes.
That's what she like got super well known for. Anastasia was like 100% out of what her audience normally reads.
Yes.
And so
Minx was too.
I forgot about Minx.
I never read Minx. Did you read it?
No.
So I heard that's like more contemporary, like kinky style.
Yeah.
More, I don't know. I could be totally wrong, but it's not Mafia, I don't think.
No, I don't think so.
Grimstone is more like fantasy, darker.
It's not fantasy.
No.
That's just like,
I thought it was like Halloween-y stuff.
Yeah,
like
so
fantasy,
it's like spooky.
Oh, spooky, not fantasy.
It's
spooky.
Not fantasy.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's just, I find it just like interesting, like that she kind of not dropped off, but I'm like, okay, is these publishing deals, like in my head, if these publishing deals are enough to let these authors, like monetary, like if they make enough and they consistently still make enough because they get the exposure with their paperbacks, that they can step back and experiment and see what they want to do. And they can take that hit financially to where they don't have to constantly put out a book every 3 months. Like in my head, I'm wondering like, is that the pros and cons? Like Jennifer Hartman.
Mm-hmm.
We didn't talk about her. She got picked up by who?
Bloom.
Is it Bloom? Okay.
Yeah.
So like her new release, I'm 3 books behind. Her duet that came out that was supposed to be traditionally published, then it wasn't traditionally published.
Her duet was always indie.
It wasn't that one.
I think she got picked up right after that duet because that was like February, March. That was pretty early on.
Was it really?
It was around when Ashley Jade's books were coming out. Because they both were supposed to be like
back to
boom,
back.
boom.
Yeah.
And so I feel like hers, I don't know when her deal was, but I think that like her book, not what her deal, when her book deal was, her books have started coming out like more like early summer, I feel like.
Yeah.
As trad books. Her new one, I think, was supposed to be with Bloom. And then they decided to change it and she indie published it. I have no idea why.
Yeah.
But
she will still write one book in that place.
She still has a book with Bloom.
Yeah.
Yes.
Like in place of that.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah. It's interesting because I feel like she also not took a step back, but she's slower released now. Like she had her duet and then she just had that one traditionally published this year. Where I feel like before it was like coming out more and more. No?
No. I think she only had 2 releases last year.
Really?
Yeah. June 1st and something.
Lotus? No. I don't know. It's interesting. Sarah Kate is the same way. Like her books got picked up and those covers are sold. Only Eyes on Me is still out.
It's also very interesting though, where Sarah Kate is able to indie publish paperbacks first. And I don't know.
Wait,
and Elsie
what?
could too.
Oh,
remember? So
yeah.
she still is coming out with her Salacious Players Club. We get those mail covers still.
I feel like that's a negotiation.
I think so. Because Elsie was able to do that with the last book in the series.
Yeah.
Reckless.
Yeah.
Reckless?
Yeah. No.
It's not Reckless.
Powerless.
It's not Powerless. Powerless is
Hopeless.
Hopeless, yes. Okay.
Hopeless.
She was able to do that with Hopeless, where I don't know for how long, but she was able to do ebook paperback in her covers.
Yeah.
Until a certain time, and then it was officially like the trad published, which I appreciate. Unlike the other series we were talking about, I can get matching covers.
Yeah.
And Sarah Kate did the same thing, but also Sarah Kate I think always brings those to signings too. So like even if it's still only trad, she's able to bring those and sell them.
Yeah, it's like very interesting. Like Penn Douglas too, I was just thinking about, and
they're with Berkeley.
That's actually surprising because like Credence being picked up.
Did Credence get picked up?
Thought so. They just kept the tree cover.
Only Birthday Girl has come out so far. The Devil's Nate series got picked up.
Yeah, that's actually really dark.
Yeah,
that's
probably Berkeley.
I'm surprised that Berkeley picked that up because of like how quote unquote dark it is. Like it's not the darkest thing as I've read, but it's like.
But I think they are also very aware of what's doing well. Because the Devil's Night series has gone through a lot of cycles of hype. Because like I was reading it as it was coming out and it was very, very popular it was coming out.
And then I read it like 2 or 3 years ago when it was coming
again.
Yes.
And
now
then I feel
it's coming back.
Now it's coming back again. Yes. So there's like, it's the same with the Addicted series.
Yes.
There's so many cycles of, because like I was reading that series when it was coming out and it was huge. And then like when TikTok kind of got its start, it got huge.
And that's when I read it.
It's getting huge. Yeah. Which I still haven't finished.
But also another author I was thinking of is Chloe Leese.
Oh, yeah. Who did the Bergman Brothers series get picked up by?
I don't know.
Penguin.
Is it Penguin?
I think it's Penguin.
I love her, the new covers, though.
Yes. But she has her one series that's through Berkeley right now. But I think that the Bergman Brothers series is Penguin.
Yeah, no, I do have one. Where is it at?
Because I think it has a penguin on the spine.
I don't have the new covers of the Bergman Brothers series, but I do have one of the...
Oh, her other series is Berkeley.
Is it? Okay, yeah.
Yeah. But because I get sent stuff from Berkeley, and I don't think I've ever gotten any of the Bergman Brothers books.
I don't know if they started coming out yet.
Are you sure?
I could be wrong. I don't know.
Okay.
I just haven't seen it like in person anywhere. Like when we go to Barnes & Noble, I haven't seen them.
Didn't Hannah Bonham Young also get picked up? It's really hard to keep track of all of the people that are getting picked up.
Well, because sometimes it's only one author with one book or one series.
Yeah. And then sometimes it's like Penelope Douglas, where they have been super successful for so long.
Yeah.
And had to like show, look how amazing this series is. Pay attention to it.
Like Anna, when Kings of Sin started coming out, I was so fucking confused because I didn't know she got picked up. Like I knew she got picked up for the Twisted series, right? Through Bloom. So when Kings of Sin started coming out and I saw it in Barnes & Noble, I was like, what the fuck? Why is this here?
Yeah.
Because I thought it was only for one series because it's not always specified like in those deals.
Yeah.
If it's everything they write or they have to have a new contract. So maybe that contract is like, oh, she's picked up by Bloom, but like pitch me your next series. Like, is that how it works? I don't know.
No idea.
It's very
I literally have no idea.
It's honestly so interesting. I'm looking, I have Corinne Michaels. She has a book with Forever, but then her other books, All I Ask.
Oh.
Yeah.
So like I think like what was common before was these indie authors, kind of like what we talked about with Helena and Samantha Young, they would just like publish both. So like Corinne Michaels too. They were publishing indie and they were also publishing like as traditionally published. But now I feel like, especially with Bloom and all the deals they've been doing, there's a lot of authors that are now only publishing with their traditionally published author. And I don't know how they pick and choose.
Yeah.
Who to do that for.
So I would love to be like in the boardroom, like for negotiations, just to see, maybe that's just me being like paralegal, but like really just to see like the
how these deals work.
Gritty. Yeah. Like it could be just a tiny phrase of a word in a contract can change the whole thing of what it means. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's really interesting to me of like who keeps the rights for ebooks and when they can actually have them like at signings. Cause like Anna can have her books at signings.
At Book Bonanza, she was selling the indie covers of the Twisted series.
Yeah, because I bought one.
Yeah.
But all of
I don't know what the rules are.
Because usually if it's traditionally, like Steamy Lit, a lot of authors that were there that
they
were
traditionally published.
That you couldn't have anything at the table. Like
True.
Julie Soto, she didn't have anything. Nope, you had to buy it.
I don't know if they just can't sell their books out of pocket. I don't know. So you had to go to the bookstore, but the bookstore ran out of books really fast. And I feel like they do it every signing. Like a Polycon was wiped out like first day.
Yeah.
A couple of years ago when we went.
It's very, and then on top of that, you think of special editions too, right? When those authors get picked up for special edition boxes, it makes it harder because you're not negotiating with just the author because they don't have the rights. You have to negotiate with the company, the publisher. So I'm wondering like if this will change the way book boxes do things. Like who have to be like 6 months out.
Well, but I also hope that book boxes are more open to more trad people like historical romances. Because I feel like the only reason I saw book boxes like not doing historical romances in my mind was because there's not a lot that are indie. Like the last chapter I think did that one box. So they included a lot of like the ones that I know that are really popular. But now maybe they can do some popular trad historicals, which would be really cool. Can you imagine a book box doing like a Joanna Lindsay book?
I would die. Well, they did the Mind F series, even though she's not alive anymore, because it was the estate that had to negotiate.
Yeah, but
that.
like the Avon owns Joanna Lindsay's books, not her estate.
Oh, it's not the estate. Oh, I thought it was the estate that still owns it. Interesting. It makes it, I feel like, even more difficult too, because you know you have a publisher that could easily do their own special edition books, right?
They do.
Like
Archer's Voice just came out.
Yeah. But even Iron Flame, like with the sprayed edges and stuff like that, like...
Okay, but like if you looked at Archer's Voice and how stunning that special edition is, I was like, why could they not do this for...
Yes. But also, a lot of these book boxes are small businesses.
Yeah.
Like Dark and Quirky, that's a small business. Like
all of them are small businesses.
I can't think of anyone. I would think Mystic maybe would be the biggest one, but even they're considered a small...
they're only like 2 owners. 2 people work for them,
Still a small business. Yeah. So I'm like, when you have a small business that's trying to negotiate with a ginormous publisher like Berkeley and Bloom and Source Books and all of this stuff like that... You know, they could easily just say no to you. Like, it's not going to be worth it.
Right.
Like, as readers, we think it's worth it.
Yeah.
But they might not think. So it's interesting the way I feel like it's going to change book boxes, which is, you know, a topic to discuss. Another thing, though, is the diversity of the people getting picked up.
That there is none?
Exactly.
I was like, where are you going with that? Yeah, no. I mean, Kennedy Ryan got picked up. All of her books did.
Yeah.
But did Bloom pick up those books? And she has her new releases though with Forever.
Yeah.
So she's doing both.
I think Before I Let Go, that series. Yeah. That's the first book. The second book is This Could Have Been Us, I think. That is with Forever.
Yes.
The other books are
like
with
Kingmaker and the Hoop series.
But then I'm wondering, okay, if Forever picked up those two, why didn't Kennedy go with them?
She was already writing for Forever before her books got picked up.
Oh, was she?
Yeah.
Okay, I didn't realize
her books, I think, got picked up this year. And she's been writing with Forever for a little bit.
Has she?
I think. She had those, the Bennett series.
Oh, I don't know what that is.
I think that might have been with an ebook publisher. I don't remember.
Oh.
Like the square one has like a red cover.
Okay, yeah.
I've never read them.
Like that's interesting though that you have an author like Kennedy where she's like got picked up by Bloom, but she got to keep the ebook rights because I think most of the Bloom books are still in Kindle Unlimited. But Before I Let Go and This Could Have Been Us, they're not in Kindle Unlimited. You have to buy the ebook.
Yeah.
Because they're with a different publisher. So as a reader, that's confusing if you read like The Rebel and The Kingmaker by Kenny Ryan and then you go to try and read another series that's not in Kindle Unlimited.
But you can do they have Bloom books at the library? Like on Hoopla and Libby? I feel like I have no problem getting trad published books there like Berkeley's. in forevers.
I know that the Kingmaker, I think that's on my library.
Okay.
In Libby. I don't know about
I also
Hoopla.
don't know what that means for their audiobook rights either.
Well, like Marietta Zapata, she got picked up by, who is it?
I have no idea who she got picked up by.
But her books are being redone in audio. Like The Wall of Winnipeg and Me just came out. It was on Libro FM last month.
Whoa. I didn't know that.
Jennifer Hartman, Still Beating. They did the audio for that. Remember that? It just came out like a couple months ago.
But I already have the audio.
They are like redoing it.
Why?
I don't know. That makes me wonder though for Chloe Walsh, her book that got picked up.
Yeah.
I read the ebook when I'm doing a read along of that. So I had to buy the ebook of Keeping 13. I thought I had it, but I had to buy the new version.
Oh.
And the last, most of it, because I was listening to the audio while I was reading it, the ending is different. There's a lot of chapters cut out. Yeah. There's like 2 or 3 chapters not in there. In the audio or in the ebook because it's just like fluff. Like I don't know if it's like completely going to change the story.
Do they edit their books when they get picked up?
I don't know how much they edit. There's certain words that were like changed. I don't know if it was like Irish slang that they changed it for the ebook. Oh my God,
now I'm like, I need to read every indie book now so I'm not missing anything.
No. But yeah, no, because I was like, oh, I had like 2 chapters left of my physical book.
And it was gone.
Or I had 2 chapters left of the audio and the ebook stopped.
My mind is blown right now.
Yeah.
I mean, because that's what they've been doing, but it's kind of like, and I guess it's more like under the rug. Like with Lisa Kleypas, they were redoing all of her books and not really telling people that they were, and they were changing a lot.
Yeah. Yeah. But back to diversity, I don't know what I got. We were talking about Kennedy, but...
And I mean, and that's been a problem with publishing for forever. And I mean, I don't know who they've given deals to and like what deals have been turned down because we don't know that.
Yeah.
But also, we can name so many Black authors that are so good in the romance community that are not being picked up. But like what I would give for Danielle Allen to be in Targets and Walmarts, Alexandria House.
Because it's funny because the way that they write is very similar to like the small town contemporary romance type thing.
Small town.
Like Elsie Silver, how it's like not fluffy, but it's like that contemporary romance feel.
Yeah.
Those authors write the same type of books.
All of Alexandria House's sports romances.
Yeah.
And look how well sports romances are selling.
It's really mind-blowing. It's like, okay, cool. Now we're picking up Kindle Unlimited authors, right?
Yeah.
Bloom, great. Now take it a step farther.
Mm-hmm.
And we need more like diversity.
I mean, even looking at queer romances too.
Yeah.
Looking at what they've been picking up, I don't see
There
any.
are so many queer YA romances compared to queer adult romances.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, but why is that? Because there are ones out there.
Mm-hmm.
Like there's definitely queer adult romances out there.
I am excited though for some of the queer romances coming out next year from authors like Maisie Eddings.
Yeah.
She wrote already. Like I have an arc of it, but it's coming out next year. A sapphic romance.
You know, we can talk all we want and be like, yeah, do this, change this. How many times have we been saying for Goodreads? Be like, more diversity, more diversity.
How much have we been saying about publishing in general?
Oh, yeah.
Decades. So
it is very sad though. Like,
yeah. But that's why I feel like indie publishing lets so much more diversity in.
Yeah.
And I really want Trad to allow that to happen too.
You know what book I'm surprised didn't get picked up? Restore Me by J.L. Seegers.
True.
That was a big book last year.
We see these books by BIPOC authors blowing up. Everybody was reading Restore Me last year.
Yeah. In the same way that everyone was reading Anna Huang and Elsie Silver. And I'm like, who? Why?
Yeah.
Even if she had one book out, that doesn't stop people. Light Sage got picked up for one fucking book. I don't know. I could get.
And again, this is like nothing at all against the authors who've gotten picked up. But when you see that happen, you're like, well, why not?
Yeah.
Go a step further and actually be diverse in who you're picking up.
Yeah. And I feel like if you ask any of those authors those questions too, they'd be like, oh yeah, for sure. They need more diversity.
Yeah.
Well, that was all we had for talking about traditionally versus indie published and all of our thoughts and opinions and all that shit, because we had a lot, but you can leave us what kind of emoji in the comments for YouTube.
I don't know what all the emojis are. You're so much better at doing this.
A crown emoji. Leave us a crown emoji. Because I'm a crown on my tree.
Ha, yeah. Sure.
Yeah, I have a crown. Leave us a crown emoji. If you're on Apple Podcasts or Spotify, leave us a rating. Tell us what you thought. I think that's all we have.
Thank you so much for listening and watching, and we hope you enjoyed our Bookish Life, and we'll see you next time.
Bye. Bye.